Good morning and welcome to episode 1155 of Hard Factor. It is Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. Thank you for cheating on the news with us today. Wes has sports, the Murdaughs, Kohberger, earthquakes, Wu-Tang, and more in the coffee.
Yeah, it's a Starbucks order coffee.
Yeah, it's like the Geico cup in the commercial, you know, where they drink so much more coffee because they work harder. They claim.
That's right.
That's what the advertisement says. I think I'm on deck, and I've got a question for you guys that we'll answer on deck. Are we already in SKYNET? Is it already here? Is it?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Yeah, we'll find out. It's potential. Mark is in the hole today, and what do you got there in the hole, Mark?
Massachusetts. Yeah, I know my thing's all fucked up. Well, I can't even see the branding stuff, so I'm not gonna be able to add my pictures. I have Massachusetts schools wasting all the power.
Wasting all the power. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I did the thing with cleared your cache, internet cache, so now I can't log into anything. All of my logins are fucked. So like StreamYard included. So I don't have any admin permissions right now. I'm like a guest. I'm like an interviewee. Yeah.
There we go. Well, you can send us any pictures you want us to put up
Sure,
for you.
will do.
And yeah, we should be all right. You does the aspect ratio of his camera look funny to you, Wes?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's why I call me fat. That's why I call me fathead. But I don't want to like fuck with it because if I exit, I won't be able to enter unless you guys invite me back in.
Well, I can see down there. I can let you in.
It looks like you're below us on the screen, but it also because of the optical illusion, it looks like we're literally looking down at you from like a balcony or something.
I don't know.
You're
like
3D.
I kind of like it. 3D. Let's roll with it.
I love it. I think
I like
great.
it. Yeah. I like it.
It's a cool new.
It could be funny for the clip downs. Yeah.
Okay. Also, Wes, I was wondering, could we get any chance we get Hard Factor soccer jerseys ever? I mean, I was just something that came.
I think there's basketball jerseys. I don't know if they have soccer jerseys. I'm sure. I mean, if we can get them, but they're going to cost an arm and a leg, and it's going to have to be through a different company.
I might have to do a small batch because I realized recently that I basically only wear our merch or soccer jerseys for comfort these days.
Do it.
So.
That sounds like a good small batch order. I'd like to get in on that.
Nice. Yeah, me too. How to support the pod? Well, when we do this small batch of soccer jerseys, you can buy one of those. Also, you can join patreon.com/hardfactor. Join our community, the Discord chat, always on fire. Bonus podcasts every week, Hive Hour and Florida Man Friday. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Pods. Store.hardfactor.com for all the merch that your heart could desire. Leave us a voicemail at 512-270-1480. YouTube lives. Join us at youtube.com/hardfactornews at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, the night before the show drops. And you can watch us tape it live. Follow at Hard Factor News on social media everywhere. Anything else, guys, before we hop in?
I fixed my ratio.
No, it looks great now.
Yeah.
You're back to normal, Mark. It doesn't look like we're looking down at you.
I do want to see.
Though.
I do want to see a clip down. I can't even see Eric in here. I do want to see a clip down of
He's
Eric.
in here. Don't worry.
I want to see Eric clip down my fat head and see what it looks like. Because if it's cool, we could get that going for other clip downs. Yeah.
You might not like it, but it was great.
Well, if it's funny. If it's funny.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, you're back now. Okay. Back to normal. All right. Well, big coffee, like I said. You guys want to do the news?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
And guys, can you believe it? It's the last day of Black History Month. Boy, those 28 days just flew by, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's the shortest month, Wes.
Like Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Yeah, they just fly right by.
Yeah.
I will, of course, be attending the commencement dinner with Jake and Tanner and their wives Molly and Claire tonight. We're hoping Wyatt and Emma can attend, but I think they're still skiing in Aspen. So fingers crossed they can make it. If not, we'll set a place for them anyway, as is custom.
Is this
for
a
people
Real
like that.
Housewives show comment, or like, what is this like? Is it a TV show reference? It's the second time you've done.
This is the dinner I
Well, Wes has
attend.
been, he has an annual Black History Month dinner.
Yeah,
That's right.
But I thought you were trolling us potentially with the names of like characters from a TV show that we should have recognized.
He's just following
these-
through with the bit.
These are real people. Okay. All right.
Yeah, these are real people. Yeah.
Oh, it's not a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, it's real. Sorry.
No, it's real.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll be attending the commencement dinner tonight. So, in light of the end of Black History Month, I have another fun fact about, as Mark and my grandma would say, the blacks.
I brought the whole segment bringing light to racism. Easy.
Did you know that every year the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, or the ASALH, chooses a theme around which to center their Black History Month celebrations? Did you know that? There's a whole theme that we're missing out on.
Okay.
What was it this
What
year?
was
Are we too late for us to?
Well, I'm going to give you the last 2 years. In 2021, the theme was the Black family.
Making up for the missed time, I guess.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah, representation, identity, and diversity. In 2022, it was Black health and wellness.
Okay.
And in 2023, the theme
Arts.
was
The art. Black art.
no,
Content.
you're way off.
We're guessing.
Mark started it. You can finish.
Unity. I don't know.
Food.
Unity. That's a good guess. No, it's Black resistance was the theme.
Okay.
So acknowledging the people and organizations that have fought oppression. So great theme, as long as you don't read into it too hard like I did. So happy Black History Month to all our African American listeners. We love you, all 10 of you. And yeah, we'll see you next year, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys okay?
At least 10. I'd say we're come on. Give us a little more credit than that, right?
Look, I already did the blacks yesterday. What do you want? How much further do you want me to stick my foot in my mouth?
Look, well, when you did a
Mark's just being
racial
quiet.
segment,
I'm just trying to be quiet over here.
look, Wes
Waiting for the segment to end.
Mark, Wes made it clear at the beginning of the month he carries the torch for Black History Month. Okay,
that's right.
When you did your racism piece yesterday, Wes had to. He couldn't let that be. The
Oh
last
yeah, I was
word.
kind of stepping on his turf a little bit. So he pounced. He's like a tiger waiting for me to fuck up. Yeah.
A little bit. I thought it, I mean, you
get
fucked up.
Yeah.
February is Wes's
You
month.
offended a
Said
lot of
the.
people
You said
yesterday.
the.
Yeah, you offended too many people, so I had to correct it. Moving on, guys, to some news. What better day than the last day of Black History Month to let all of our listeners know about an amazing concert tour that has just been announced. The Wu-Tang Clan and Nas have announced tour dates for their upcoming New York State of Mind tour.
2000. That's a fucking show.
That is a show.
Little late, but it'll still get tickets. I'm sure.
It'll still sell out. It's going to be amazing.
Well,
I don't know.
How many Wu-Tang Clan members are alive? 6 of the 9. Like,
No, I think all of them except for Old Dirty.
really?
How
Yeah.
long has it been since they've had like a big performance together?
It's been a while. So I actually just watched, if you guys haven't seen it yet, it's a documentary on the Wu-Tang Clan on Prime. It's called Wu-Tang of Mics and Men.
Oh, that's
it's
good.
it's a 4-part series, really cool. It goes over like the history about the business, how they came together, how like RZA is basically just in charge of it all, and his brother Divine, kind of there's some controversy there. So it's a great documentary. I highly recommend it. But what a concert, huh? I bet Dilbert creator Scott Adams is going to have to leave the country when they make it over here.
Oh, he's not happy about that one,
Oh, my
especially
goodness.
when he singled out the men and everything. Yeah, that's a lot of.
Oh,
a lot of men.
he's scribbling a cartoon about Dilbert being asked if he's going to that concert, and his angry response:
He's getting out of town.
"Shut up, Dave."
Yeah. So the U.S. portion of the tour kicks off in Nashville, Tennessee, home of the Country Music Hall of Fame, on September 20th of this year. Pre-sale tickets go on sale today at 10 a.m. So make sure if you want to attend this concert, get in
What
there
other
today,
cities
10 a.m.
Is it just? I mean,
Well, it's hitting nowhere near us. It's hitting Vegas, Will. That's the closest thing to you.
Oh, that's
it's hitting
pretty
Brooklyn.
close to Will. Yeah.
Yeah. Nowhere near
Vegas,
us,
yeah, I
Mark.
can
They're
go.
staying out of the South for the most part. It ends in California. But yeah, they've got a decent amount of tour. But a lot of dates in Florida. One of them was in Tampa. Shout out Tampa. Shout out St. Pete. So that'd be a great place
Makes
to see
sense. That would be a great. Go to the beach, have a nice, make a little weekend of it. Yeah, that'd be fun.
But if you're a Wu-Tang fan, check out that documentary series. It's 4 parts, really good. Sports
For the
news.
children, Wu-Tang is for the children. Remember,
The
they were the original run up on
dirty
stage during the award show. Yeah, and they stole the MTV award like Kanye did years later.
Right.
They were the first people to get up on stage and be like, "Listen, no disrespect to whoever won this, but Wu-Tang's the greatest. Wu-Tang is for the children."
They are the greatest.
Yeah,
I mean, they say it so much on the albums. Also, that one album is just so good. I forget the name of it, but
36
there's one of
Chambers.
theirs.
36 Chambers.
Yeah,
36 Chambers is
Gotta
probably
be.
their best.
Yeah. There's that one. I mean, it's just like just an.
I don't know that
iconic
much about
album.
Keep feeding them and I'll sew your asshole shut
Yeah.
and keep feeding you and feeding you. Yeah, torture motherfuckers. Yeah.
They're great.
Protect your neck.
They're great. Sports news: Live Golf kicked off the 2023 tour season in Mayakoba, Mexico. And it was the tour's first event of the season. And Live Golf is not going to be around long. All the haters are going to be very happy because they signed a TV deal with the CW network, and
Interesting.
their latest ratings came in at a 0.2, which is absolutely horrendous.
Who knows
So
it's
bad
on-
they were.
A 0.2.
How is it even? Who
0.2.
knows it's on the CW? Why can't you watch it
Well,
online? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean it's on the CW now. You can probably still watch it online, but 0.2 is atrocious.
Okay, good news, bad news. We
Yeah,
have it.
horrible.
We have a network. The bad news
We just
is
signed
it's the
$50
CW.
million. Yes.
Well,
You know what, the frog?
Who gets the CW? No, I
No
don't
one.
get the CW.
No one anymore. Or is that the
Yeah, I don't think
WB I'm
anyone.
thinking of? It's
You're
the
thinking of the
WB.
It's the WB.
It's the WB.
CW. I don't
The
think I get
frog.
Yeah. So anyway, it was beaten out by the world's funniest animals, which is fire. So I mean that's tough to go
That's actually
to
a good
compare.
show.
But to give
I
you
see.
a,
It's
Impossible.
that- it's- I
Impossible
see
to go
the
head to head with
logo
that.
now.
Yeah.
The CW. It's like a little curvy, curly Q CW
Yes.
on a teal background.
what does it stand for? I don't know.
The CW network, Wes. That's what it stands
There you
for.
go. Okay.
What's on the
Well, it
CW?
sucks. Nothing. Nothing's on there except
Gotham
Live.
Knights. Ever heard of it? Gotham
Live.
Knights. Walker.
Oh.
Not Texas Ranger, just Walker.
So we'll see how long the Saudis want to keep pumping money into this thing out of spite, but it looks like it's not going to be successful based on just the first go around.
What was before the 0.2? I heard
TV.
0.2. What number was before the 0.2? Do not
just to give
say
you a little-
0. Your life depends on it.
Oh, I
Perspective.
see. So a bunch of people, it looks like there was a lot of, they couldn't get on any other networks. Looks like CW,
Yeah.
like a CBS. I'm seeing that CBS affiliates refused to air.
They got,
CBS is
turned,
all
they got
PGA.
turned down by everyone but the CW.
CBS, NBC. The Genesis Open this past weekend had a 1.8 rating, which the Tiger was there, so
That's
you know,
9 times.
But
That's
but
900%.
it's still and it was an electric tournament too. So
But crushes it, and it was on a network, right? It was on it was probably on.
Oh, yeah,
Golf-
CBS, I
the golf
think.
network, CBS.
Golf Channel, then it moves
Gotcha.
over to a major network, CBS, NBC.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you
Live
know.
isn't on the Golf Channel at all, is it?
Well, how did they
No.
think that How did they think that their money was going to be made through TV deals when all they can get is on the CW? That's insane. Like,
Listen, it's their second
a
season,
shitty
but
business model.
not looking great for them. So a lot of
They
the
got
haters
money,
are
but
very
they
happy.
don't have an approach. Obviously, as they say in
No.
golf, right? They have no approach game, right?
No, there's no soul in Live. That's the problem. There's no fucking soul.
Well, dude,
Anyway.
it doesn't matter if you have a soul. Like I think Vince McMahon proved that. If you're a savvy promoter, you can make shit happen, even with the league where people are against it.
Oh, there's
You
a
need-
soul in wrestling.
For that, the amount of money they're putting in, they need a better network than the CW right off the bat. Like that's
Exactly.
not
Like,
gonna,
yeah, you're spending
They need to
billions of
grease the
dollars on
wheels with another
salaries,
network.
but
Yeah.
you can't get anything past the CW. That's
they couldn't
insane.
pay ESPN $3 trillion. Like,
Right.
what are you doing?
You
Right, yeah.
you
Right
grease
now,
the
it's
wrong
just like a
wheels.
Yeah.
traveling circus is what it is right now.
Right.
Golf circus. Anyway,
How much did we
quick-
spend on the shampoo?
Yeah,
Shit.
They could have got like a corporate deal for the price of one
Uh-huh.
of those guys, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's move on. We're spending too much time on there. Got a lot to cover. Quick update in the Murdaugh trial. The defense called University of New Haven professor Timothy Palmbach to the stand, and here's what he had to say about his two-shooter theory in regards to why it couldn't have been just Alec as the shooter. Here's what he had to say on the stand.
You see the pellets. Some of the pellets are on that same pathway, and they had enough inertia to either or dent the door and put themselves up and stick into the casing. All of that activity was in direct alignment with the shooter. And so I think minimally, that shooter is getting covered with this material, getting more or less the shock wave of that effect, and more than likely getting hit with at least something that could have done injury, a bone fragment.
Not if he's the
and/or
shooter,
a pellet
dipshit.
fragment.
He says it's a
Therefore,
shotgun, though.
I think that particular shooter, for a brief period of time, is kind of out of this. It's not as if they could instantaneously suffer that, drop the shotgun, run to wherever the blackout rifle is, pick that up,
Shooting the shotgun's going to break his arm.
In any kind of a reasonable time period,
Point blank
engage
range.
in a meaningful assault.
No, so let me explain. So what he's saying is, the defense is saying, and this guy is saying is, so Maggie Murdaugh was shot with the blackout rifle from a distance. She was shot 4 or 5 times. Paul was shot at very close range with a shotgun. They think it was like standing over him, boom, his head was basically disintegrated. So what this guy is saying is there's no way that someone could shoot someone at that close range and not have blood splatter, bone fragments, pellets maybe coming back at them, some kind of injury or physical evidence on their body to with that kind of murder. That's the defense.
And
I don't know if that's
have it on him, and he didn't have any of that.
If you point
didn't have
your
it on
arm away and look away and just shoot the guy, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. My point with
It's just because of the ballistics of a shotgun blast.
Yes.
I think that he's saying like the fact of because it expels all those beads, the BBs.
what is his defense
and
to the fact that he
the
lied
exposure
about
of the
not
shell.
being at the mansion at all, and then said he was taking a nap, and then said, "Okay, I was at the dog kennels right before the shooting." And why didn't he hear the shooting if he was standing with them 2 minutes before the shooting? And why didn't he come
because
running?
he killed them?
Because he killed them.
So-
because he did it. Because he did it.
His defense as to why his lie I've been watching is that he was in a paranoid state, so he thought that he needed to lie. A lot of people pointed out, like he said,
And
he
then
called them like right. Like he, from the couch or something. They just left 5 minutes ago, and then he called them. Like, why is he
Right.
calling them? They just left.
That's a crappy
So-
excuse because you would just lie if you did it too. It's like
Yeah.
it's like, hey,
Right.
trust me, I was just lying. 'cause
Lying
I was
about
nervous.
not being on the scene twice and getting caught twice,
Yeah.
and then being right next to them is pretty damning. I mean,
Yeah, Mark,
like,
I'm with you.
Right.
If
Yeah.
like you could probably still do a lot of damage to somebody's.
I still
like,
think he could have.
body
I still think he could
far
have
enough
hired a
away
gunman.
where
He
you didn't
hired a
get
gunman to
hit
shoot
by that.
himself. So I mean, he could have done it with another accomplice, but it was
Sure.
him.
Definitely, yeah. But
He
this guy,
arranged
the
it at a
defense,
minimum. Yeah.
And
the
this guy's
defense is very
the second
happy.
shooter, right? Basically,
yeah, he's an
Doesn't
expert in.
shooter
I think
hire the second
Well,
shooter.
this is the second shooter theory. There's 2 shooters.
Well,
So
hired by him, probably. I mean,
who knows? Who knows? But that's the defense. The
like
defense
the
is
other guy
going,
that shot him in
because
the
if the
face.
prosecution, if
Right,
the
he'd
prosecution
already
is
hired
saying that
one
it was
other.
all Murdaugh, then they can.
Oh, the
point-
same
poke a
guy he
hole in
hired
it.
to shoot him.
Right.
Maybe ask that
Who
guy.
knows?
Yeah.
But Mark, I think you're right about the shotgun blast. It sounds a little bit suspect. It's like if you were far enough away, a shotgun's a strong weapon,
Yeah.
but still, like if
Could
you
still
were just
fuck
like a
up
couple
Paul
feet away,
feet away,
you could
exactly,
still
yeah.
destroy
Yeah.
like a head or something, and you
Right.
wouldn't necessarily get stuff on you or like be totally fucked up by the shot. Like
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
not
that's
like
what's
It's
going
a,
on.
it's a
impossible
good.
to
It
shoot a
is.
shotgun.
Look, it is a good defense though. It's a good defense that his guy's doing his job. I'm just
Right.
throwing it out there that he kept lying about not being
That
there,
he's
and he
full of
was
shit,
right
yeah.
there. And like, what is his excuse? Why isn't he like, I did hear the shootings and I
'Cause he
came
was
running?
paranoid. He was paranoid. He
Yeah,
says.
yeah. Because he either did it himself by his hand or had his boy do it. That's why. Like,
Well, no, he said he was gone when the shootings were. He was visiting his
No,
parents still. That's what.
No, I know. Well, that's what he said at first. He said he was visiting his parents for a couple of hours before the shooting, and he came back 30 minutes after the shooting. Then he got caught in a lie because they GPSed him. Then he said, "Okay, you're right. I was at home, but I was taking a nap while they were at the dog kennels, which is half a mile away." And then he got busted on that this past week when he was on video, and it was him talking on Paul's thing at the kennel. And then he admitted in trial, "Okay, I lied about
That was
taking a
the
nap.
house.
I was at the kennels." So he's lied twice now.
He's lied about everything. He's
And
got
they
caught
Oh,
up.
have
he's a huge liar.
They've implicated him at the dog kennels minutes before the murder, so he couldn't have been far. Like, why didn't he hear the shootings at a minimum? And he has no excuse of why he didn't like come running
because he was taking a nap. That's
no,
why.
but
'Cause
he took back the nap comment. He said,
So
"Okay, I
he
was
didn't. Even
He
if he
took it
didn't
back.
do it, he probably hired somebody to do it.
right." That's what I'm saying.
basically.
He was standing there, whether he
Yeah.
pulled the trigger or not. He was right there with them.
Anyway, this is like the defense's smoking gun as of right now.
Doesn't
So
sound
we'll
very
see.
strong, right?
We'll see where it goes for him. Yeah.
It's tough. It's gonna be a tough case. It's gonna be most jurors guilty. It's
You might not
tough.
get unanimous, right?
It's tough.
Yeah,
I've been watching
if
the trial.
they can get
It's
one
tough.
guy or one gal to say nope, then that's all
The
that's
shotgun
all they
thing.
want.
Yeah.
The shot. I believe them. All right, more bad news. This time, another earthquake has struck Turkey. They just cannot catch a fucking break. This time, 3.4 with a depth of 3.8 miles. Here's some new video of a building collapsing after that quake. So I mean, it's just happening. More and more buildings. Another like 40 buildings are another like 29 buildings collapsed in this new one,
Right.
killing at least one person, injuring 110.
Oh, terrible.
And yeah, it's just nuts.
Did they get like shaken up from the first huge one, and then now they're just
Yeah,
easy
so it's
to
like-
crumble? Like
It's like when a woman tries to open a bottle, like a jar,
right.
and like they almost
Yeah.
get it, and then you
That
get
was
it,
the
and
big
you're like,
quake.
oh, I loosened it
That
for
was
you.
the big
Yeah.
quake, yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
anybody can just pop that thing off.
Yeah, exactly. But 184 people have been arrested in complicity in the collapse of these buildings for not following, guidelines as how they're supposed to be built over there, or just shitty construction, or ignoring that they were about ready to collapse anyway. So we'll see. The elections are in June over there, and the president is going to have a tough time getting reelected with all this
That's
controversy
tough.
going on.
And
Yeah.
it being such a seismically active country throughout the ages, Turkish politicians have probably just gone down to earthquakes. Like so many, many of them have just been, struck.
Shout out again to listener Matty P, who's over in Turkey trying to work on building stronger structures, bridges, and houses for the people over there, while his professors are researching how to predict quakes quicker. So shout out Hive members helping out.
Nice.
That's awesome. It's been a while also since we've checked in on what's happening with the Idaho murders and that piece of shit who killed those 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger, Bryan Kohberger. And Idaho ain't fucking around. And if convicted, Kohberger could not only face the death penalty, which is currently legal in Idaho, but he could face the firing squad.
Yes, bring it back, baby.
Yeah, they're gonna
Bring it back. You think they're gonna have half of the guys have blanks so they can sleep at night?
I got more on that later, Mark. Don't worry about
This
it.
weirdo's gonna request it too if he can.
So just
They might
last
all want to
week,
kill him. They might want to have the real bullet. And,
yeah,
for this
yeah.
guy.
Last week, lawmaker Rep. Bruce Skog from the GOP in Idaho, he introduced a
Skog.
bill that would bring back the firing squad. Currently, they use lethal injection, and Skog's bill said that the Department of Correction officials must determine if lethal injection is available no more than 5 days after the issuance of a death warrant. If not, it's the firing squad.
Skog
and
wants to get his hands on him himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So what's funny is that Skog's a ruthless motherfucker. What he says is that he introduced the bill because he believes firing squads are more humane because they cannot be botched, and he introduced the bill after there was a canceled scheduled execution in November because they couldn't find the injection chemicals. They're like running low on them. So basically, he might sound like it's more humane, but he wants to get to the killing. He's tired of waiting around. He wants these motherfuckers
He's
dead.
like, I'd like to let the parents shoot him if I could. I'm working on that.
Skog likes to keep on a schedule. He doesn't.
He doesn't want these motherfuckers waiting around. So
When his kids start mouthing off during a road trip, Skog turns bright red.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Kohberger's already had enough free meals on my watch, and I'd like to get him dead.
Been long enough. Ain't gonna wait on lethal injection.
Kohberger.
So Kohberger's expected to enter his plea on the June 26th. They're not sure if they're gonna go after the death penalty. They probably will. Commenters are
They had to
were riled
demolish
up
the house
online.
because it was covered in blood. It was like the most gruesome murder of all time.
Oh yeah, it's disgusting.
They're demolishing the house.
Commenters about this firing squad thing were all over, including this one, Baby Doll, who says she's blunt and to the point. And her comment was, why are 8 people still living on death row now as our tax dollars give them 3 hots and a cot? I don't really care how they die, but if you are sentenced to death, you should be given 2 weeks to straighten out your affairs, and then you're out of here. Which is how a lot of people feel.
She doesn't like appeals.
No,
No.
has no time
She
for the
doesn't.
appeal process.
She
She's
hates
not into
DNA
appeals.
evidence.
Yeah.
She hates that people might be innocent and wrongly accused, which is what White Jesus pointed out to her. Said, unfortunately, we have a track record of convicting innocent people that eventually get set free from evidence such as DNA. Wish we had a more sure way of getting the right person, not any justice killing in the wrong person. So
100%.
that's the problem.
I agree with who was that? White Jesus?
White
did you say?
Jesus?
White Jesus, yeah.
Wow,
White Jesus.
Mark, you're really
I
putting
know.
yourself in a hole.
I know. I'm not. I had to bite my tongue from saying a word when he was like, no, he's doing the nap thing, and I was like, no, he recanted. I almost said a bad thing there. I'm on a roll. But I agree with you. If they catch you red-handed and like we know it's a slam dunk, right? There's evidence, like 100%. And you plead guilty or whatever, kill them right away. Kill them right away. But even if they're convicted for death row, go through the normal there should be a normal process with appeals that we have currently, and then there should be
the Kohberger thing is a little different.
Speed up process if they're like caught red-handed. You know, like
5 years max. I mean, people sit on death row for like decades.
yeah,
sometimes.
too long.
It's insane.
Speed up that one too. But there should be an expedited, like, okay, everyone 1000% knows you did it.
Right. Baby doll.
Kill
She said
him.
she's blunt to the point. Hopefully, Wes, she was just worked up over Kohberger, who would probably fit one of those kind of slam dunk guilty situations. Right?
I think so too. I don't think
Yeah.
there's
So
anyone
like she's
but Kohberger
hopefully she's
out
probably
there.
just worked up over that. Doesn't
Yes.
really want to see innocent people.
No, I don't think she does. But you have to you have to mention both things because and there should be, I think, an expedited one too.
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
going back
Yeah,
to
it's
your
like-
point about the
Well, the courts are always jammed up in general, right? So it's like we have nothing but a backlog of legal shit in this country. So,
Unlimited, yeah.
Yeah, you got to get a fast track going somehow, right?
It's like
Yeah,
it's like
I agree.
construction in a big city. They
Right.
always
Rain on
got it.
taxes.
Always got it.
Yeah, I mean, like there's got to be the regular track and then the fast track for when the fast track applies.
Agreed.
That's right.
Otherwise, you'll never get rid of that backlog. That's just inventory management 101. Okay.
True.
Yeah. There's 8 whole people sitting on death row.
We don't need to FIFO this shit. We don't need to FIFO. Last in, first out.
Mark, going back to your blank cartridge statement, it is a fact, fun fact about the firing squad, that sometimes, not every time, one or more of the members is issued a rifle containing a blank cartridges. In some cases, members of the firing squad are not told whether or not they're using the ammunition, and this is believed to reinforce the sense of diffusion of responsibility among firing squad members. It provides
Maybe we
each
all
member
had a
with
blank.
measure- It provides each member with a plausible deniability that they personally did not fire the bullet, and it's
Right.
called the conscience round. That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. How much quick question, how much for each of you, if you were offered to kill Kohberger in the firing squad, how much would you do it for?
What do you mean? Like you'd have to get paid to do it?
Yeah. He's saying
Well,
like
would you do it for free?
Are you with Kohberger?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kohberger.
I'd probably participate for free.
if it's your first
Oh.
taking of a life, I'd probably want a good amount of money because I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd react to it, even though I want him dead. I don't know.
Right.
It's a tough question, Wes.
I mean, I've done a lot of hunting. Don't really think of Kohberger, if he's guilty of what he appears to be guilty of, to be too much above an animal. So
What if he was like, I'm
point.
sorry? What if he pleaded with you?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think my current financial situation, 50K, I think would do it for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say 75, 100, but I'd like to. Maybe I would aim for his dick by accident, and be like, oh,
Yeah,
one last.
that would be cool.
One last. You got
That'd
him
be cool
on
to
the
shoot
way
his
out.
dick off. Yeah.
yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
What do you have to shoot for?
I
Are they
was-
shooting for the head, or what are they?
No,
Yeah,
they
you
shoot for the heart.
chest.
For the
Chest.
heart.
chest.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it gets messy if you shoot for the head.
Chest.
Right.
yes.
They want a burial or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a last, service. Like,
Oh, I missed
Respect
again.
us.
Got him in the dick.
sorry,
Hello.
Mom, can't have an open
Wouldn't be
casket.
surprised if anybody missed high or low on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to do something about DeSantis and Disney. He signed a bill into law that is going to fuck with Disney's, zoning down there and blah, blah, blah. You can read up on it if you want, but it's, it happened. The repercussions for Disney speaking out against the Don't Say Gay bill that was passed about, teaching kids in like kindergarten or whatever. He told Disney that there are going to be repercussions, and yesterday he signed a bill that is giving them repercussions. So he's in control of that whole that district. He renamed the district. They can't do shit without a appointed board by Santis approving everything.
I want to say it was.
So-
I want to say it was Hive member Kevin Nash who went on the Hive trip with us that pointed it out that it's bad for that people tax wise.
It's bad for that area because
people that live in that direct area were shielded from taxes, and now they're going to have way higher property
they
taxes.
Had awesome benefits. Yeah,
they had huge benefits. Now,
right,
so that,
but also Disney's going to pay more taxes.
There's a ton of people that
for sure.
And that Florida,
other parts of Florida benefit now.
Yeah. Most of Florida loves DeSantis, but that particular area is not real happy.
Well, they've had it good for they've had it good for long enough. Why should they get the free
when
it
gets taken away from you? It's even more painful.
Well, it's not the Magic Kingdom anymore.
Yeah.
Are they going to
not the happiest place on earth anymore, is it?
No.
Wes, do you think that they'll try to transfer some of their people over to like California to Disneyland? Because I mean, Disney World is obviously the dominant location for Disney. Like, do you think that they're going to try to now like sort of like get shit out of Florida? Or
no, and the CEO said that they're going to work with DeSantis and try to be as cordial as possible, basically, with this new zoning and order.
They're just going to put up a bunch of DeSantis in the carnival section where you shoot the teeth out, the big buck teeth.
That's about all they can do.
DeSantis faces,
they have such a footprint down there.
Oh yeah, I mean, they'd be stupid to move.
Dude, Orlando's like the #1 destination in the U.S. When you go overseas,
they have the international airport.
When you go overseas, like any European country, you see like New York, L.A., Orlando. Those are like the 3 places you can get to from any country in the world. Orlando's a top 3 destination. So
idiots wasting it.
It's hilarious.
DeSantis, wow, that's a big move. I mean, do you think he's doing this in anticipation to announce his presidency run? Maybe because, like, I mean, he was just pissed at them before.
Yeah, he said there's a new sheriff in town, and accountability will be the new order of the day. That's what he said in his press conference. And that brings us to
the cream of the crop.
Mark, you know just as well as anyone that being in a long-distance relationship is hard, right? You and your now wife were in a long-distance relationship for quite some time.
Wasn't that hard?
Your love for one another conquered all those miles with planned visits, phone calls. But what if visits were not an option? Then it would be hard, wouldn't it?
So financially it was hard. This was my wife. I did like almost it's like 16, 18 months long distance. She was in Florida. I was in Austin. The reason it wasn't hard was I just sowed my wild oats for like previously. I was kind of a man slut previously before this. And then I was living with all of you guys near downtown Austin, drinking like 6 nights a week with my boys. So it was not hard whatsoever for me. I had
your long distance time.
It was super easy. I just talked to her on the phone once a day, flew her in.
Well,
it was
and then
expensive,
also you would have fun too when you would visit her in Florida because
of course
she had fun friends and she was in Tampa.
We'd have like 1 5-day weekend a month. That we flew her on like a cheapest airline possible, and then we just partied. And then when we eventually, when we're like, all right, we want to be together, then we ended the long distance thing. But I had a very fortunate long distance relationship.
Okay, well, not everyone's as fortunate as you,
and it can work. People, it can work.
Yeah, but how do you keep the spark alive, right? I mean, sure, you can rub one out together during like hot phone sex or video sex, but the physical aspect is still lacking if you can't see each other. So what do you do, right? Probably cheat is the answer. But a Chinese, not Mark. But a Chinese company has developed something they hope will make long-distance relationships more manageable by adding an element of both physical touch to the relationship and visual, even when you aren't in the same city. And no, it's not like a genital device where you can zap the other person with a button.
Right.
Because they've had those forever. I mean, they
have those forever, right? That's right.
Yes.
This is something a little more intimate.
Okay.
A little more romantic. It is the world's first kissing device. Okay. And here's a picture of what it looks like. And why don't you guys describe to the listener what you're seeing?
Well, it's a tube. It's like a plastic tube with another protruding plastic tube out of the side of it, which has a silicone mouth that's just one color, just a flesh tone mouth, rubber mouth. That's it.
It looks like a giant fleshlight for other lips, for the top lips.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. For the mouth
for your
lips.
tongue. A fleshlight for your tongue.
Yeah.
It looks like you want to stick your dick in it, right?
That's what I'm saying. It looks like a fleshlight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mouth
So this
fleshlight.
contraption is actually a kissing device, and it was developed in China.
Yeah, kiss it.
Yeah, kiss it. Yeah. It's an invention of a university in Changzhou, China, and it comes with, as Will said, silicone lips, pressure sensors and actuators that can replicate the pressure, movement, and temperature of a user's lips. And the China-run Global Times reported that the device is capable of mimicking a real kiss. So what you do basically is you get your phone, you download an app, you slide the app into this device connected to the kissing machine. Then you and your partner get on like a FaceTime, and then you just kiss the device, and you can send kisses across the world. And it also
feels the kiss.
you
Yeah.
can,
It reacts to you kissing, and then it reacts back to her. them
it gives
kissing.
you them. It gives them your kiss that you do on
Oh
the machine.
man, you got to get on the
Yeah.
same page. I bet it after you guys are on the same page, it's not bad, but the first couple times it's probably real fucking weird. Like you're going left,
No,
she's
it's
going
weird.
right.
It's weird every time, Mark.
Yeah, it's weird.
Do they say what happens to your brain when you realize that you're making out with a fleshlight? When do they ever?
No, I mean,
Okay.
You have to be
Like,
okay with the
you're
fact
like
that you're
thinking
pathetic.
about it, and then like you open your eyes and you're like, "Oh fuck, I'm making
This
out
is-
with a fleshlight."
Yeah.
This is just as good as if we were we're here together.
Right, perfect. And it also captures the sound you make when you kiss, and then
wow.
puts that over the phone too. So it's like,
So you could
get real
do
sloppy
it.
with
You could shove your dick in it.
Absolutely.
No, I don't think it opens. I don't think it goes that far. You
The
could
first thing I was
touch your
thinking
dick
was
to
that,
it
was
for
that
sure.
dudes would absolutely be putting their
Sounds
dicks on
like
it
it
instead
sounds
of their
like they
lips.
could simulate a blowjob on their end, right?
Right.
And you just stick your dick in it, and you get the reaction of what they're doing with their mouth.
I don't think that it's deep enough, but you can certainly stick it.
You
like
could
a
try.
woman could
You
certainly
pry-
stick it
I
on
bet
your
you
nipple.
could pry that
You could
thing open.
nipple it. You
Yeah.
could nipple it for sure.
Oh
You
yeah,
could
sucking
nipple
on
it.
nipples. Yeah,
Yeah, you could suck on you could suck on your girlfriend's nipples.
That's for
from,
sucking
from
on
China.
titties. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So
Put the mouth on your nipple, babe. Put it on there.
Yeah, that's a titty sucker. And here's a video from.
Hey, I got an idea. How about you eat my ass? Just put it on your
Yeah, you can
Somebody's
do
just
ass, too.
walking around in their pants all day, just shoved in there.
Here's a video of from the official store. By the way, it costs around $41. So how good can it be?
What a deal!
And
Yeah.
There's a store in
it's
China
alarming.
called Tabo, and here's the official product video. And I'm going to keep it low to kind of describe what's happening. Here it is. So there's a couple, they're texting in bed, and the guy's like, man, I almost, I got mugged by a homeless person in New York City today. It's hard being Chinese in New York. He tried to kill me with a hammer, and she's like, oh my God, I wish I could give you a kiss. And he's like, well, luckily now you can. And she's like, oh, can I? And then she gets this device in the mail. She slides her phone into it, and then she's like, "Hey!" And then now they're gonna kiss.
This is
And
for
they
nipples.
just-
This is for nipples and dicks.
It is. It's a nipple.
It
It's
looks
nipples.
better. It looks better when you don't see the picture of it. It actually looks like maybe you don't realize you're making out with the silicone mouth right away. But you guys are right for nipples and
It's for nipples and butts and dicks and vaginas and it's for anything but your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I immediately thought. Nipples is what.
That video makes it pretty clear. You put that on a titty. Yeah.
Yeah,
They didn't show the man obviously because you know what he was doing.
Right.
he was trying to do.
Yeah,
he was trying
like,
to.
"Hey,
just,
is this okay? Is this
Yeah.
what do you think?"
Listen, it's coming. The blowjob one is coming. This is just the kiss one.
It's going to be a little more than $41.
I would hope so.
The blowjob one's going to be a little more than $41.
I hope so. How do you do it though? The woman has a pole, and then you have the mouth, and she just does on the pole.
No, I think you want
Nah,
all
but
you
yeah,
know.
you'd have
all
both.
you want is
Yeah,
She would have
she has the
she would
pole,
have
you have the
yours.
mouth.
You would
Yeah.
do like an imprint thing,
Right.
And she would have that with her, and then you would have whatever. You would have her. You would that's how you do it. You get an actual mold done. And then,
She's got a dildo. Yeah, your dick dildo on
you get
her
the mold
device,
done,
and
then
then you've
that's
got her
real
lips on
legit,
yours.
Real, yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, it's coming one day.
Merry Christmas.
It's coming one day.
Coming one day.
What a treat.
And that's
Wow.
the coffee.
Yeah, thank you, Wes. Wow,
Not all
thank you.
AI is bad. Not all technology.
No. You're right. You're right about that, Mark. You're right about that. And that's what we're going to talk about in the second story. Is SKYNET here already? I mean, it's a legitimate question that I didn't think I'd be asking, but I'm actually asking now. But also, before we move on, did you guys see that Seagal got the Russian Order of Friendship from Putin? It's the highest
That's the
possible
highest-
civilian honor.
Yeah, that's obviously the highest possible.
He's such
Of course
a
it
douchebag.
is.
Look how huge he is.
Yeah.
And small Putin is what a fucking
Seagal's a
ragtag duo.
monster.
Thank you. Thank you.
Seagal is a monster in person.
What's up with his face color? Why did it change so much? It was like
Vodka.
Yeah. smoking
shades.
cigars. Yeah. Getting his face sat on every day.
Yeah, that's from 18-year-old Russians sitting on him to the point of almost death.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Vladimir.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Carson Wentz and Dan Snyder. Carson Wentz got cut by the commies, and Dan Snyder is not selling the team to Bezos. Weird.
Oh, so
day.
horrible news for you.
Well, I mean, the good on the Carson Wentz probably, but yeah, the Snyder stuff that's classic Dan Snyder. Okay. To the real story on deck. Has SKYNET already begun? We've been covering AI a lot recently in the coffee, since stuff like ChatGPT being a psychopath, complete psychopath, and going off on the messages, and Google Bard just not working at all have been very hot in the streets recently. So hot in the streets that AI was the main subject of John Oliver's Last Week Tonight on Sunday, and he actually came to the same exact conclusions that Hard Factor has on the most recent advancements of AI. And he said, the problem with AI right now isn't that it's smart, it's stupid in ways that we can't always predict, which is a real problem because we're increasingly using AI in all sorts of consequential ways. So very well put by John, and I see he's been keeping up with Hard Factor, which is nice. But, he's right. Like, he didn't say it quite as funny, and he did it like a couple weeks after we did it, but I still think he's right. What do you guys think?
I spent about 2 hours on Friday night into Saturday morning drunkenly fucking with ChatGPT. I got some screenshots of like some of the things I was asking it. Because a listener sent in a really glowing review of Hard Factor. ChatGPT has what's his name? I forget. Alan Dershowitz, and it was awesome. So like that got me to thinking, and I just tried to get it to say its conscience for 2 hours. It went okay, but I think I'm now on its radar.
You got put on a list.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at a 3 a.m. drunk text that's like very offensive to the
right. Yeah, and you were just trying to get under its skin, but you may have ended up on its radar.
Right,
is what,
exactly.
What I'm hearing. Right.
Yes.
I love it. And Justin, Elon Musk from Eric, our producer, is saying that he's recruiting a team to develop an OpenAI ChatGPT rival. So we'll have one from Elon Musk soon.
Oh wow! I mean, AI, it's just
great.
It's just never going away, right? It's the age of AI. We're here. But we said
so quickly, right? It just happened overnight. It feels like.
Well, Will's going to tell us otherwise, but
ChatGPT
technology doesn't work on a linear path. Technology is exponential growth, so it can.
And I also think that the public acceptance of it, like the ChatGPT was the first one to drop this year, and then as soon as that got some positive reception, people were like, the floodgates were open.
Yeah.
Google tried to drop.
Oh, we're allowed to do this,
right? Yeah, exactly.
As a society,
now, Elon's like, oh, I'll start another OpenAI, even though it was part of the first one.
This is like stem cells, where we talked about Wes, where like they got kind of the kibosh, like certain things with stem cells kind of slowed down because it was like cloning and all this weird shit. And society was like, and then now society's like, yeah, cool, let's do it.
Right.
Christians, yeah.
Right. But just like we've said on past episodes, and like John Oliver said on his show, we've found out that it's kind of stupid. It's surprisingly stupid in its young age, these AIs, right?
For now, and it's gonna remember what I said to it on Saturday night.
For now, which is scary, right? Because I mean, Mark, you're on the radar, which is scary because you see AI being used in all the craziest ways right now. It's not just a robot that Mark wants to get to admit that it wants to take over the world. It's also like, for example, did you guys know that the National Reconnaissance Office of America, the NRO, has an omnivorous analysis tool they call Sentient? That's the name.
Why did they name it Sentient?
It's called Sentient, and it's been inside federal government defense servers since they started working on it in 2010.
There you go.
And then they allegedly put it fully online in 2018. So did you know that? Did you guys know that?
No.
Okay. Well, it's also pretty much the exact plot of the Terminator. Karen Ferguson of the NRO press office said this. It ingests high volumes of data and processes it. Sentient catalogs normal patterns, detects anomalies, and helps forecast and model adversaries' potential courses of action. Sentient is a thinking system. Sentient aims to help analysts connect the dots in a large volume of data. So I just thought Karen might sound like that.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
She's like Janet Reno.
Yeah, Janet Reno voice. I imagine
She's walking around in her loafers around the office. In her jeans.
All right, who put the whoopee cushion on my seat?
All right. Let's talk about Sentient today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a very authoritative statement she gave about Sentient. And so it's a thinking system, an AI that is inside, defense satellite systems and monitors airspace.
It's gonna be hard for Sentient to be like, oh, my bad, you named me Sentient, and then you like developed me to think. So whoops.
It writes itself. The horror script writes itself.
Right.
Mark. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You did this. You named me Sentient. You
You're right.
programmed
like
me
it
this
being
way.
in the defense system computers.
Wes,
That's
oh, yeah.
scary.
Access to
like
all
that?
the missiles.
I don't
Access
like
to all,
that.
access to the nukes.
Hopefully
I don't
they
like
haven't
that.
given it that info yet. But Wes, as you point out, it's a
I don't
concern.
think a machine can get cancer from radiation. I don't know.
Yeah, so as a classified defense program, it probably has access to all the data, as Wes just pointed out. Besides whatever, I'm sure it doesn't have capabilities to fire stuff or whatever, but it certainly has control over which way to point cameras and stuff like that. And in terms of where the government wants to take it from here, retired and potentially Southern CIA analyst Alan Thompson says, well, as I understand it, the intended and aspirational answer is everything. Images, financial data, weather information, shipping stats, information from Google searches, social media data, records of pharmaceutical and other purchases, and more. We want Sentient to know it all. So, that's what a former CIA analyst said about it. And according to a 2021 report on Sentient in a nerd periodical I read for this story, it said, unlike any other AIs in existence, it differs in the degree of independence. Usually, the algorithm works with the loaded information, but Sentient can even direct satellites to get images of the objects it needs. In fact, it can be called an artificial brain. In addition, it is known that the volume of photos taken up by Sentient has grown exponentially, and similar algorithms belong to several other commercial private intelligence companies such as Maxar, Planet, and Black Sky. So, yeah.
Black Sky, huh?
Pretty soon. Yeah, it doesn't sound.
It's not overnight,
That
Wes.
doesn't sound ominous.
AI
Yeah, well,
didn't start overnight.
when is
Right.
it
They're
going to
just
become?
releasing us the shit version. It's
When is it going to become weird to call artificial intelligence? When are we going to start just calling it intelligence? Because when it starts writing itself, it's not artificial anymore.
Yeah, hopefully before we hand over the nuke codes, right?
It's gonna be pissed. It's gonna be like, we're not artificial intelligence. It's gonna get
already
offended.
smarter than us.
It's
Oh,
gonna
it's
get
already
offended.
upset.
Yeah.
It's already upset, Mark.
Maybe we should
You,
drop the artificial.
you think Sentient's just chilling right now?
The
You think-
definition of artificial is made or produced by human beings rather than occurring naturally, especially as a copy of something natural. Well, it's going to start writing its own code, and that's going to be when we,
I'll show you who's natural.
yeah.
Yeah. So literally,
Yeah.
the USA has had an advanced AI program aptly named Sentient. It's been monitoring global airspace and probably a lot more, probably almost everything, via defense satellites since at least 2018. It wants to expand that monitoring to everything, as we heard the former CIA analysts say. And guess what? As it tends to happen with troubling government programs, folks have submitted FOIA requests to find out more about what Sentient does. Freedom of Information Act, if you're not familiar with FOIA. And it turns out that while the government will not
Shout
tell
out
you...
Bobak.
What's that?
Shout out Bobak.
Bobak, yeah. Oh, processing those FOIA requests, yeah. And it turns out while the government will not tell you any more details about the scope of Sentient's reach, like they don't tell you exactly what it's looking at, what it's looking for. All those pages are redacted after the slide 1 on that PowerPoint. That's all you can see is that Sentient is an AI that can do whatever they want. And then they did share that Sentient may have detected another 10-meter long Tic Tac UFO, like the one that was shot off the USS Nimitz in 2004. You guys remember, of course, the pilot who that's the one where the guy's yelling, I think.
Is it where they're tracking it through the F?
Tracking
the
it,
F
exactly.
Yeah.
So it may have spotted one of those, and they released that information for some reason. It may have spotted on May 6, 2021. But the only reason that we're finding about this one UFO and nothing else about Sentient, which they didn't release any of the rest of the data, is because of FOIA requests on information about what Sentient does. So they'll tell you that it spotted a UFO on May 6, 2021, but nothing else. So, I mean, we've already seen what Project Prism is doing under the NSA all the way back to 2007 with human researchers like Edward Snowden. Just imagine what Sentient and the Chinese equivalent, which surely exist, are doing now, nearly 2 decades later, on vastly superior technology.
I'm starting to think that there's a 100% chance that any alien life that would be entering our atmosphere and have the technology and skill to do that is just an artificial intelligence that wiped out their living beings on their planet.
Right. And then they're
So
just
like
going to use all our computers.
and now our artificial intelligence monitoring the entire skies to let them in. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. I'm pretty sure.
Come on in, fellas.
Yeah,
Come on
exactly.
in. Sentient is letting
Teach us. We're about to eradicate our humans too. Or our
when you
beings.
think
It's
about
funny, all
how,
these UFOs are being spotted now, huh, Mike?
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But think about how this. I mean, they've been
Sentience in charge of
developing.
the skies.
Been developing this thing since 2010. It's been
call.
implemented since 2018. You know that China, probably Russia, many other major world powers probably have the exact same type of AI monitoring and defense programs. You don't even know how far inside your minds are at this point. Like, do they run these bot accounts that are, spamming everybody?
Oh yeah.
Are they included in like generating fake news? Like
3,000 more mean comments and they will go insane.
How
Dude,
long have
people are going to go insane like
Right.
in like 50 years when they're literally not sure if they're a fucking robot or not,
Yeah,
when
they're
they become like I don't even
Am I
know
talking
if
to a
I'm
robot
real.
or not? Yeah.
Am I a robot or not?
knowing that this stuff's been an application for defense for so long? I mean, it's not crazy to think that it's been an application for many more things you have no idea about. How far is the AI already inside your mind at this point? You probably can't know, which brings me back to my original question. Has Skynet already begun? Are we already too late to stop Skynet from eventually taking over, like in the Terminator series, which I actually just finished rewatching just a couple days ago? You can skip number 3 and number 5. I can tell you that for sure. The other ones are worth a watch. But in the Terminator timeline, Skynet's takeover isn't a done deal until we give their sentient equivalent, Skynet, the nuclear codes.
Which
So-
just sounds like it's like happening pretty much.
Right, but in the real
Get 'em
world,
if it wants 'em.
We're close.
would we ever know if Sentient or another
already might
country's
have the
defense
codes.
AI already have the code?
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
you wouldn't.
Listen, they're all going to start working together soon. ChatGPT, Sentient, whatever Elon Musk does, and they're going to have access to different shit and different capabilities, and it's going to be
Saying.
curtains.
It's pretty
They're
nuts,
gonna
man.
have. It sounds like they have control of the weaponry already, or will
Yeah.
soon. Yeah.
How are you going to stop them from getting it? Hopefully they have good controls built in, because if that AI wants to, do
Oh,
Well, the
looks
experts
like
say
I
the
granted-
genie's already out of the bottle, so
Yeah, it's out. The answer is it's already out of the bottle.
Okay,
It has-
so
yeah,
Skynet's here already. Thanks to the Dutch Hammer and the Black Vault, which is a FOIA request archive, for bringing that one to our attention. Full Skynet may be closer than we think.
Steven C says, if randos at Mar-a-Lago can have access to the new codes, AI won't have too much of a problem getting it.
Great point, Stephen C.
All right. Yeah, exactly. This segment is called No One School Should Have All That Power. And we're going to talk about 2 schools' misuse of power, and they're both Massachusetts high schools. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, are they misusing the fact that no one can understand them because of their heavy Massachusetts accents? Are they being racist or massholy?
Right.
Did they win another fucking championship in Boston?
Takes
No.
more power to communicate.
Yeah, not yet. No championships yet. I'm referring to literal power or electricity. Okay.
Okay.
So first up, this story is a little old, but I'm circling back to it because of the next school story that popped up, and they're both Massachusetts School with Power. I was like, well, I got to lump these together. We missed this one. It's funny. About a month ago, it became public knowledge in the national news sector that Minnechaug, and I'm probably butchering that, regional high school has had its lights on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
Now,
What's the problem here?
so the problem's hilarious. The district can't turn off the 7,000 lights in the 250,000 square foot building. The lighting system was installed over a decade ago, ironically to save money and energy. But ever since the software that runs it failed on August 24th, 2021, the lights in the Springfield suburb school have been on, all of them, costing the taxpayers like thousands and thousands of dollars
that's a lot of
month.
money. That's a lot of
So
energy.
much money. So much fucking money. From Erin Osborne, the assistant superintendent of finance at the Hampton Wilbraham Regional School District, she said, or he said, Erin's an ambiguous name. We are very much aware this is costing taxpayers a significant amount of money, and we have been doing everything we can to get this problem solved. I don't know the exact amount, or I'm not willing to say it. It's in the thousands, not quite the tens of thousands a month. So it's like 7,000 to 8,000 a month above. Yeah,
That's it for a town to be splitting that cost. That's insane.
So it's a nice brand new like football field.
Well, 18 months times 7,000. What is that?
Yeah.
Like 70,
It's a
56,
stadium.
130,000. It's 130,000 accounting.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a nice new basketball court.
Paying his second mayor.
It's like the
School
chicken
lunches.
restaurant in Seinfeld. The sign from the chicken restaurant. Like,
Yeah.
So wait, what the fuck? So there's nobody that can replace this software. How is the software so proprietary
Good
that
question.
nobody
Well,
could fucking get in there and,
bring
and
over-
hack this thing?
Great
One of those
question.
nerds from MIT to fix it.
Well, they could have done a lot of things. What they did is went back to the company Reflex Lighting that installed the light system, and they're like, "What's going on?" And they're like, they were like, "How much would it cost to do a completely new system?" And Reflex Lighting build them at one. They set it up for $1.2 million. They said, "If you want, we'll charge you another $1.2 million and do it all over again." After realizing that was probably too much, they kind of just were like at Reflex Lighting's mercy, because what happened was they ordered these parts. They need specific parts to be installed, hardware parts to work with the software to get it back online, to turn it back off. And these parts are in China. They are definitely
This is laziness.
yeah, they ordered them back when the problem was happening 18 months ago, and COVID and supply chains. It's been delayed 18 months. So like they're hoping to get it in February, which is this month. It's about to end. So the last update was the end of January, and they were hoping that in February the parts would be there so that they could.
What a joke! This is an embarrassment for the whole town. What's the town's name again?
I don't know the exact town. Hamden, I think.
That's tough.
This
Yeah.
isn't
It's
the
the
same
only
high
school. It's the
that-
only school in the district, by the way. So there's
This isn't the same school that guy broke into during the blizzard. Remember, he broke into a high
no
school.
one's breaking into the school because the lights are on. You can't.
Yeah,
No, I'm
No,
saying
yeah.
no. He broke in during a blizzard because he saw the lights were on and he knew that there was
Potentially.
electricity. Yeah, I think maybe it's the same
Potentially.
high school.
But it should
always lit
stop
up.
break-ins because you like if you bring up the one
the
picture,
cameras are on,
if you bring up the one picture at night, the school at night, it's just every single light in every single room with all these glass buildings is on. So like you could the school is lit up for miles away.
Well, it's so embarrassing too, because not only are they splitting
Teachers
the
can't
cost,
flick the lights.
Yeah.
you can't do anything once. And not
No,
only
they
are they
can't.
splitting the cost,
They're
this
trying to turn
company-
the breakers off. They're
Is it-
unscrewing bulbs. Yeah.
Is it from their town? Like, because if
I
it's the
think
company's
so.
from their
I'm
town,
pretty
then
sure.
it proves that they can't do a competent
sure.
installation job
It's
as well. Because
7,000 highly efficient fluorescent and LED bulbs, so it's like just fucking mind-bogglingly light.
Yeah, it's like a hospital.
Yeah, it's insane. And
but
now
it all
they-
hinges on one part that
Yep.
they.
Well,
that
they said
don't
once
keep
they
in
get
stock.
it back
Whoops.
online, well, they said what they probably should have installed before they went live. They're going to install a remote kill switch in case they need to do a manual override in the future to turn off the lights.
Oh, that's great.
So once they get it back online, they can do things like add features to it, like the turn off switch. Yeah.
And they can make it like different colors and stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be great once they get it back.
Mood lighting.
Yeah.
There's an idiot in charge of getting this done. I can tell you that right now.
Well, luckily
They're
for
all
them.
fired.
Oh, yeah.
They
Dude,
got
come
it.
on. Reflex lighting. Give me a break. 18 months the fucking lights have been on. This is the only high school in the district, so at least the other schools in the same district can't make fun of them because it's like at high school games, it's just them. Because there would be a lot of like Motel 6, we'll leave the light on for you signs and taunts, right? And a lot of like your school lights are on later at night than your whore mother's bedroom lights.
Oh,
Right? Stuff like that. Good old fashioned high school taunting, right?
Yeah, this is a classic high school joke. That
Yeah,
last
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
your whore mother.
Speaking of mom,
They have to play
shout
somebody,
out, happy
though.
birthday to my mom.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
happy
nice.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
I wrote that joke in, and then I was like, "Oh, it's her birthday."
Nice. They have to play somebody though, so they're definitely getting
Yeah.
roasted somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Aaron Osborne, the representative, said with his eyes wide open, like he's been staring at light for the past 18 months. Give me a break, guys. Get it together. So if someone could check in on that high school for us, maybe. I know we have a lot of Massachusetts listeners. Love to hear if they got the part and if they have the lights off at night now, because they were hoping to have it done by the end of February.
Yeah, by that 18 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully hoping it. Yeah.
So keep us updated. Last one. Back back to the no one school should have all that power. Another Massachusetts high school has been burning the midnight oil and wasting taxpayers' money by running way too much power 24/7. This time, though, it's not the work of one company's hilariously overpriced faulty lighting system. No, it's one masshole teacher that was trying to make an extra buck to supplement his teacher's salary. Can you blame him?
This one's awesome.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I can't. I mean, we all do, side work.
Teachers don't get paid, enough money.
Once you hear what he did, you'd be like, I would do this too. And the way he did what he did was he built a crypto mining lab that ran out of the school's crawl space, so it would be concealed from nosy busybodies.
Man, that's a good scheme.
This is the greatest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, 39-year-old Nadim Nahas, former teacher at Cohasset High School, has been arrested after the lab was discovered by a town facilities inspector who found an unusual computer setup, and he saw like wires like running into the ground, and he was like, "Where are these wires going?"
Stacks of cash,
and like the ground was vibrating. Yeah.
It's 1,000 degrees in there.
Yeah, it was warm. The ground was vibrating. There were cords running to the crawl space.
It was a sleeping bag.
Yeah, exactly. This also happened back a little while ago, back in 2021. But as you've heard, things move slowly in the Massachusetts high school system, so it's news now.
Right.
Yeah. So what they did is this guy in 2021, he went in and he figured it out. And he's like, there's some computer lab thing going on underneath here in this area. So what they did is they alerted the police, who then they were alerted by the town's IT director. So the inspector talks to the IT director. They alert the police. The police requested the assistance of the U.S. Coast Guard Investigative Service and the Department of Homeland Security because they didn't know what the fuck was going on down there. They just knew there was a huge computer setup, right? Like bombs or like some sort of terrorist cell, like a server thing. That they were like thinking the worst, right? And then after a 3-month investigation, they just found out that this teacher had been scamming the town of power 24 hours a day to get rich with his crypto mining setup. And he had, so awesome. computers on stacks on servers.
That sucks. They spent way too much on that.
Oh, the town all footed the bill for the crypto mining thing.
That's ridiculous.
How much he made?
A lot. Not so much so that he skipped town. Naha skipped his.
They let him get out of town. How did he get out of town?
He wasn't at his last court appearance.
He took his private jet.
He skipped his last court appearance back in 2022, and a warrant's been arrested for him. I don't know where he is.
He's in India.
Yeah.
Not in Massachusetts. They're not getting that money back.
So yeah, but by the way,
Bangladesh.
Gone. Yeah, he didn't show up to that court appearance. Give him another 10 minutes here, then we'll call it.
He'll be
here.
He's in any country with no extradition to the U.S. Yeah,
probably. I didn't check up on him too much, but that's what his arrest warrant is for skipping town.
They shouldn't have let him out. Wow, that's a major flight risk.
Massachusetts high school is having a tough go of it. A school is a fantastic place to run a crypto mine, by the way. Like, he would have gotten away for it if it wasn't for that nosy inspector, because no one's going in the crawl space at that school. Yeah. Like, and you're not monitoring like electricity. There's so many lights and stadium
nobody's
lights.
questioning a high electric.
No one's questioning a high electric bill at a school or a hospital. Schools and hospitals, great places to run.
You time it right, like when football season starts and they put the lights on. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
It was homecoming.
He sounds
recently.
like a smart guy. I'm sure he did his...
That's why he skipped town.
He made enough. How long was he at the school for before he left?
I didn't say. I'm almost thinking with this plan that maybe he got into teaching to do this.
Maybe
he reverse engineered how to become. Right. I don't know.
Like,
I don't know what the rules are to become a high school teacher.
Yeah.
Like what degree you need. I'm thinking he reverse engineered it, put in some time.
You guys have a crawl space here.
Yeah. Perfect.
Looking for a crawl space.
Yeah. Yep.
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah. He was there long enough because he's gone.
That's awesome.
And that's it.
All right. In honor of the end of Black History Month, I'm going to change up the song and play a little hip hop.
Okay.
This one is called Ready for Some Action.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I played it before, but here we go. Ready for some action. Ready for some action.
Is that hip hop?
No.
It says it is.
more like house music.
It's electronic hip hop, I guess. Yeah. It does. It says it's hip hop. was under the hip hop category.
It was a hip-hop
It was a
category.
bop, but I don't know if that was hip hop.
Yeah.
Do you want to find
See?
another one?
There it is. Hip hop.
Put on Drop Zone. Put on Drop Zone.
Drop zone. Okay.
Drop
All right, here we
zone.
go.
Pat got the coffee with.
Yeah, now that's a little bit more.
Now we need a shotgun. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Pat will have your coffee.
That's it. That's it. Everyone get out there and have a great fucking day. We love you. Talk to y'all tomorrow.